everybody, and welcome back to another week on my YouTube channel. This week I am going back to making one of the best Barbie dresses ever from one of the best Barbie movies ever, which obviously is The Princess and the Pauper. Also, a huge thank you to Care Of for sponsoring this week's video. I will be telling you more about them later on. The dress I'm making is Anneliese's main pink dress she wears in the movie. I have made her wedding dress once before, and I've also made this pink dress before, but it was something I made at the very beginning of 2021. So it was still when I was learning how to sew, and I'm just not proud of it. I don't even know where it is right now, but I would not choose to share it again. It's not very good. I'll try to find a video of it. I was really proud of how it turned out when I made it back then, but I really want to make a good version now since I'm doing more Barbie dresses. So I have the fabric already, and I can't wait to make Anneliese's pink dress, and I think everybody's really gonna love it because obviously Princess and the Pauper is one of the best Barbie movies, and everybody loves it so much. For the fabric, I went to Joann's, and they had the most beautiful dusty pink fabric. Let me grab it really quick. So this is what I have. I have the pink matte satin, and I have the crystal organza, and then I'm just using leftover gold fabric that I already have in my stash. I feel really awkward because there's construction going on across the street, and the construction people keep walking by, and they see me filming this. Hello. I'm going to get started on these skirts. This dress I think is quite simple actually. It looks beautiful with the details on the bodice, but the skirt itself is really simple, and I'm gonna get that done first. It's just gonna be a couple circle skirts. You guys, today is the first day here where I live that it's not super hot. It's only high of 80 today, and it was freezing cold this morning. So you better believe I put this sweater on. This is the first day of the season that I'm wearing a sweater. And although I thought it was a good idea when I got dressed today, I'm actually a bit warm because it gets so hot in my sewing room. But it looks like fall out, so I'm wearing a sweater to make it feel like fall. And I want to go out and get decorations for fall, maybe today or tomorrow, because it's September now, and I just want some pumpkins and some fall foliage in my vases. So maybe I will do that later today. Speaking of fall, now is the perfect time to talk about the sponsor for this week, Care Of. With fall in full swing, I found myself wanting to reset my schedules and build a new self-care routine. To help me with that, I recently subscribed to Care Of. If you haven't heard of them, Care Of is a subscription supplement service that provides personalized daily vitamin packs. With their free app, not only do you receive daily reminders to take your vitamins, but you're also rewarded for consistency through exclusive discounts and merch. Since starting my Care Of subscription, I wake up every morning looking forward to start my day on a healthy track. Each morning I stretch a little, I spend some time with my cats. Hi, Arthur. This is Arthur. And I open up my vitamin pack to kickstart my day. One of the things I loved about the vitamin packs is that each one has a different tidbit printed on the packaging. I find it really fun to take it out every morning and see what it will say. Today is a question, and it says, if a movie was made about your life, what would it be called? It's things like that that make Care Of so special and unique. I've been taking Care Of vitamins for a few weeks now, and I definitely noticed that my energy has increased, and I feel so good about myself both mentally and physically. I love the consistency of being able to pull out a new pack every day, and it's been the perfect way to reset and renew myself this fall. You can take Care Of's quiz to find out what's recommended for you. Use my code ALouise50 for 50% off of your first order. Now that I'm prepared to take on this day, let's get back to working on those skirts. Hi, baby. You mean boy? Hello. This color is beautiful on your fur. It compliments you very well. Oh! Do you like it? We have the underskirt cut out now. 2 half circle skirts is what I cut. Sorry, Hubert. There's a cat under me. Super easy. Now it's time to do crystal organza, which is not fun to work with. It's very slippery and it moves around a lot. Sewing together the 2 half circle skirts together so that I will have a whole circle to work with. As far as what I'm getting done today, I'm not going to completely finish the skirts because I want the hems to be able to sit and stretch out so that the hem isn't warped, because I always don't do that and then I regret it afterwards. So I am going to add a waistband and I'm going to finish this off except for the hem, and I'm gonna do the same with that skirt right there. I'm not gonna do the hem, just the waistbands, because I really want it to look good. I had this on for TikTok and it looks like a beautiful cupcake when you take it off like this. I just sewed up the side seams. I did not hem this yet. I might do that today. Look how sparkly it is in the sun. And then also I need to put the clasp hook and eye closure thing on both of these skirts. I'm gonna sew those on really quick. As you can see, this hem has kind of drooped a bit after sitting for a few days, so I went through on my dress form and I trimmed it so that it's all even again, and then I can serge it and it won't look bad at all. It has been a few days. This skirt has just been sitting there stretching. In the meanwhile, I made a homecoming dress for my sister, and today I'm finally going to work on this bodice. I have been putting it off because it is a lot of work. This bodice has a lot of detail, and I always have trouble fitting bodices with sleeves, especially longer sleeves. Luckily, past me was incredibly smart, and apparently I had saved the mock-up pattern that I made for the Rosella ball gown from the Island Princess Barbie movie. That pattern could honestly work pretty well for this dress. It would just have to have a few changes. So I'm very glad that past me saved this pattern and I can just use the pattern I already had, because I have a lot of range of motion in that dress, which I normally don't have with long sleeve corseted dresses. So I'm going to make this pattern, try it on, see how it fits. Hopefully it's good. I might only need to make a couple adjustments and then I can get working on the dress. One of the reasons I'm not wanting to make it is so ridiculous outside of my house right now. There's so much construction. Anyway, one reason I'm daunted to make this is because of like that trim she has on the neckline and the sleeves. It's just a lot of work to make, and I don't really have any pre-made laces that I think would work. I can check, but I might have to make that by myself, and I just don't want to do that. It's just a lot of work. I'm gonna worry about that later on. So I had a choice between two gold fabrics for the overlay in the center panel. I had, let me flip the camera. I had this one and I had this one. I ended up going with this one. This one is just, I love it. I love it's so sparkly, but it's too piecey. There's not enough gold. This one, I think it looks quite nice, and it will really pull together once there's all these details right here. And I'm hoping the details will make this not so stark white either. I think that's so cute. Look at this. It's adorable. I cannot wait to see what it looks like in the end. I like it a lot. I'm gonna sew the other pieces to this really quick, and then I'll do the lining, and then I'll decide what I want to do from there. Right after I stopped filming, I realized that I forgot to put the overlay. Ugh. Now I have to actually unpick all of this unless I do it without the overlay. I don't know. It doesn't look that bad, but I have a feeling with the sleeves it would look off, so I guess that we have to unpick it now and then do who knows what, because I also forgot that it needs to get quilted. It's gonna add so much time to this project. All these pieces are basted together with the overlay. I have one half of it and I have the other half, and I quilted this piece and it actually looks so good. I think I might quilt it one more time because in person it doesn't really show up that well, and I would like it to show up a little bit more. So I think if I go over it, it might pop out a little bit better. But look at how good that looks. That's that side, and then there's this. I don't have the whole side sewn together on the side seam because I need to add the sleeves, so I'm just not gonna have the stitching line up, so it will be separate from this and this. For those wondering how you do this quilt thing evenly, let me show you my trick. I start off by just sewing one line straight down in a diagonal, and then I move it over to do the next line, and I use this ridge right here as like my guide. So I will have this sewing right here, and right here you can feel where that ridge is. So I'll feel along and guide the first line of stitching on that ridge, and then I'll just keep doing that down and down. And so that way it makes them parallel to each other, and then you just make sure to do that same thing on the cross diagonal, and then you end up with pretty diamonds. I'm working on the bodice. I just put a few polls up on my Instagram stories, which I just hit 1 million followers on Instagram like a week ago, so I'm really happy about that. But the problem is that I have so many trims, I didn't know which one I wanted to use, so I narrowed it down to 2, and I've been asking what I should use. I had this one right here. Let me get better lighting. That one, and then I had this one. They're pretty similar, but very different at the same time. So I put a few things up, and the replies are literally 50-50, so that was no help. But I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna mix and match. So I have this one, the first one I showed you, on the sleeve, and then I'm gonna use the other one for the top and the bottom, because this one, it's kind of old grandma-ish. It just looked too froofy when it was on the neckline, and I like the other one better for the neckline, but I like how this one is longer and flowier for the sleeves. I have this sleeve sewn down. I have that gold trim on there, and then I need to sew it down on the other sleeve, and then also this to the bodice. The other sleeve is already sewn to the bodice. And then before I add the lining, I want to go to the store and figure out what I want to put on the little cross section of the quilting. I don't know if I want to do rhinestones or beads, so I'm gonna go to like maybe Michael's and see what they have. I have the lining sewn together in these boning channels sewn in. There's the outer layer. I started putting on these, they're not really rhinestones. I don't quite know what they are, but they're kind of metallic-y, and I thought they would be good. So I am sewing the lining and the fashion fabric right sides together right now. Then I will turn it right side out and sew down these armholes and just go from there. Okay, here's what I'm doing. I turned it right side out. Looks pretty good, but I need to add a detail. So I have this gold bias binding, and I have the lace trim for the neck. And what I'm going to do is, let's see. So I'm gonna sew down on this first side the lace and also the bias binding together, and then I'll be able to flip over the binding and sew it down on the other side, and then that means this will be contained, and then I'll repeat it on the other side as well. It looks so good. I like the lace I ended up going with. There's the neckline, and then I added it to the hem too. Up close it's kind of ugly because I had to stitch over the binding because I just don't have time to, I just don't have time to hand sew it, but from far away you can't really tell. Now I need to add grommets, which are my least favorite things to do. And then once I have grommets, I'm gonna start putting on the rest of those little gold things. And then I need to do the detailing on the bodice. I really wanna finish this tonight, so I think I'm gonna have to scrounge up materials that I already have, and I just don't have time to go out and get them because I need to have this dress finished. But I think it will still turn out really, really beautiful. And it's already beautiful, even if I stopped it right here. I literally have the exact amount of grommets, not one left.
You're always free to begin again, and you're always free to believe. When you find the place that your heart belongs, you'll never leave. You and I will always be celebrating life together. I know I have found a friend forevermore. Love is like a melody, one that I will always treasure. Courage is the key that opens every door. Though you may not know where your gifts may lead, and it may not show at the start.
This video, I hope you enjoyed. I love this dress so much, and it's such a big upgrade from the first time I made it. If you did like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much to Care of for sponsoring this video.
Yes, maybe, and it may not show.